Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. This whole scene, this living room scene, is very poorly put together. But I enjoy it so much because it's in a lot of ways it's so laughable. Like it's so laughable that you're just like you can just tell that they just want to sit there and get this Constantine story wrapped up. They did not give two how, right? So, for some odd reason, Maggie wants to sit there and hear the details about, um, Constantine taking out Victor, right? Because, like, I want you to sit there and tell everyone that loved him and everything like that. I want you to sit there and tell us all that. And I'm kind of just like, that's kind of odd. But I mean, since he is, already, spilling the beans on this stuff, and I mean like federal crimes, why not? So he talks about this meeting that he had with Victor and how he was able to sit there and get him to change the will because his daddy gave Victor some starting up money and they're not doing so well. And he's like, you know what, listen, you already sat there and you killed my little girl. So like that's the very least you sit there and help me. So Victor's like, all right, fine, I'll do it. I'll sit there and change it, right? And I think what he wound up doing was the will was supposed to be, in the event of his death, that he would sit there and get some money, they would get some money. And I think he just got so pissed off. He was like, I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to wait until old age kicks in. So I'm just going to sit there and just help this move along. Right. But the way he does it, it's like he's twisting a knife just to hurt her, right? And everyone's like, "Oh, shut up!" You got Sarah, you got Xander, and everyone. They're like, shut up, stop doing this. But for some odd reason, Nagy wants to keep this going, so he keeps twisting the knife. He keeps saying more hurtful stuff. And eventually, Maggie gets so worked up that she starts to faint. They take her upstairs, right? Constantine, because like I saw the previews, and I was just like, how is it possible that this senior citizen somehow got the edge over them? He starts coughing. Teresa, like a dumbass, decides to get him some water. He grabs Teresa, and for some odd reason, I guess he had a gun with him. Um, and he puts it towards Teresa's head or towards her stomach. And he walks out with her. He shoots Steve, right? So Steve is hurt. John is sitting there putting pressure and everything. And for some odd reason, Alex decides to sit there and go after Constantine with no weapon. Yeah. So John is like, listen, take my piece, back Alex up, right? So he gets there and Alex like, listen, I'm just gonna sit there and take you out or whatever. And at some point, I don't know if he said this when Brady got there, but he was like, oh, you're not Victor's son. You're not Victor's son, right? So he's all like shocked and everything like that. And Brady, he can't get a shot in. He can't get a shot in. Um, Now Xander goes upstairs to get Sarah and tells her to go downstairs and help Steve or whatever. He's bleeding. And for some odd reason, this chick took like the longest time possible to go downstairs to check on what you call it, to check on Steve. I always sat there was like, why is this taking so long? Now they called the cops, but for some odd reason there was an accident or whatever. Um, and so they're busy since they're taking care of the accident. But I'm just like, is that all the officers you got in Salem? Like really, they couldn't sit there and spare like maybe one, two extra officers to go down there. Like none of this makes any sense, right? Xander gets there, and Xander's like, he points the gun right at Constantine, and Brady's like, hey, listen, you can't do that. Teresa's in the way. Xander's sitting there looking at him like, I don't give two shits if she's in the way. I don't care about collateral damage. So he's about to sit there and shoot him. Teresa hits him. They fall on the ground. Constantine starts choking Teresa, and then Xander shoots him, right? And before he actually, dies, he says that there's still a traitor, there's still an enemy among your midst, or whatever, before he dies. Now, Maggie's all worked up, and Sarah's like, let me give you a sedative to sit there and help you sleep. So while she's sleeping, Sarah goes downstairs. You got Justin and Bonnie talking, and this, I guess I felt like this part was fluff in a sense because it was like all it was Justin Smith saying that I'm not really Alex's son. I'm not really Alex's father, and this, that, and the third, and he feels really bad about that. And Bonnie gives him a pet talk, but then Bonnie does something very Bonnie-like, and she's all like, "Oh well, I'm gonna sit there and help Maggie out with my dentist or whatever." And I'm just like, okay, I know that they're trying to put in some levity for a cheap laugh, but yeah. It's like whenever Bonnie says something, it's like 9 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10, it's a dingbat comment, right? So Sarah gets down there. John sees the pawn card, right? He starts looking at it. He starts to sit there and think about his time when he first saw the pawn card when Constantine used it. So he picks it up. He starts looking all zoned out like he's back in that trance. And I'm just like, this really does not make any sense. Like, when Constantine used it, he was fine. So I'm just like, why is he sitting there looking at Steve like he's about to sit there and pull the trigger? Like, this ain't make no sense. Now, granted, I watched it at like 7 o'clock in the morning. I was kind of tired, but I'm like, I'm pretty sure when I wake up, when the caffeine kicks in, it's still not going to make sense. And when I thought about it, it still didn't make any sense. I like Xander in this scene because he was just like, he was just like, I don't care if this chick is here or not. Like, if she gets shot, then whatever. I could sit there and take out Constantine, so I don't. I didn't enjoy that. This thing was just clunky somewhat. It was somewhat clunky. Like, how long does you know that somebody's sitting there bleeding and they're bleeding out, and you take so long to sit there and get downstairs? I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, it just didn't really make a lot of sense. And I think at this point, the writers just like, we gotta find a way to get rid of this Constantine story. I don't care how, just find a way to do it. So, he's finally dead. The actor that they got to play Victor's voice was somewhat spot on. That's something I can picture his tone and everything like that. Because you just saw the back of his head when he was sitting there talking to Constantine. Um, but Teresa's going to get found out. Teresa's going to get found out. And now Alex, I'm a dying man, is saying that you're not really Victor's son. So, they're going to sit there and do that DNA test. And then, I don't know, I guess all will be right in the world with Justin and Alex being together. And I just wonder when Xander's actually going to find out that he's Victor's son. Now, like I said, I've only been watching the show for 3 years. I heard Victor used to sit there and really treat Xander like garbage. Um, so this rewrite, in a sense, is just like, what? Like, is anyone like, I want to sit there and ask: is everyone actually okay with this rewrite of just making Xander Victor's son? Anyway, I feel like that's pretty much about it. I can't think of anything else. If I missed anything, write it in the comment section below. Now, like I said in my GH review, I've been feeling like garbage. I've been feeling really sick since yesterday. Um, if you can't tell by my voice. So I don't know if I'm actually going to live stream tonight. I'm going to sit there and try to take a nap, see how I feel. If I'm up for it, I'll do it. If not, then I'll probably just live stream tomorrow. But I will let people know in the community tab. Um, yeah, so that's actually going to do it. I want to thank everyone for watching. Let me know if I missed anything, and let me know what you thought of the episode. and I will see you in the next video.